to start with our today's program.
The 5 minute পরে শুরু করি স্যার।
How many were present today? Right now? Total attendance of... So we can start now. Let other come gradually. It is the time, so we should start. Geopolitics, political geography. And we have been discussing various aspects, particularly boundary, location, capital, core area, then ethnicity, Chittagong hill tracts, etc.
Recording in progress.
In the beginning, we have highlighted the importance of demography in the scope of political geography. Demography refers to the studies of population, its composition with respect of what's called age, sex, then its distribution and religiosity, linguistic difference, then age groups, etc. Demography or population is an important aspect in the scope of political geography because a country becomes stronger or weaker on the basis of different aspects: its size, shape, location, then the facilities of communication, resource potential in strengthening or weakening of a country. For instance, if the country is larger enough and heavily resourceful, still it may be weaker if the population is a small one. For instance, Russia is very much advanced in science and technology. Militarily, it is okay. Its area is vast, but unfortunately, its population is only a few herds reside in its vast territory. Say around less than 20 per, 5, 6, or 7 per square kilometer. The country, Russia, is the largest country in the world. Around 1,000 Bangladesh can be accommodated within the area of Russia. Australia, it was USSR. And in 1990-91, when it was disintegrated, around 17 countries have become independent out of these huge United Soviet Socialist republics. The countries are Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. These 5 Central Asian countries. And Caucasian country among is Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. Then comes Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia in Baltic region. Other noteworthy countries that have become independent from then USSR are Ukraine, then Belarus, Moldova. So you see, these countries are also bigger. Ukraine is 4 times larger than that of our country. And other countries are also bigger. For instance, Kazakhstan covers an area of around a bit smaller than that of India. So you can imagine the territorial expansion of that country. And still, after deduction of these several states from its territory, or aerial extent, still Russia is the largest because it covers Siberian or northern Asia within its territory, the whole of North Asia, northern Asia. Siberia is a vast, barren, or very sparsely inhabited area. So you see, these demographic situation have given Russia a weaker position because for its industry, for its military, for its other sectors of employment, they lack sufficient manpower. So this is why we only around 14 to 15 crore people. It means 140 million population. The vast, huge, mammoth Russia is bound to be a weaker or awkward position in the geopolitical scenarios. Likewise, if we consider the state of, say, Sudan, Algeria, the vast area of these countries are covered with deserts. The African country, North African country, Algeria covers a huge area. Say around 20 Bangladesh can be accommodated in the area of Algeria. Still, its population is very low, only around 3 crore. Why? Because its 9/10 area of Algeria is Sahara Desert, which is almost uninhabited. As a result, most of the population are accommodated in the comparatively fertile and wet northern Mediterranean, along the Mediterranean coast. Likewise, Sudan, still after deduction of its southern portion, South Sudan, still Sudan is one of the largest nations of the world, but its population is not that much rich. It accommodates only around 4 crore population in its vast territory because most of its areas are covered with Nubian Desert, southern extension of the Sahara. And land is barren and not fertile, only along the courses of the White Nile and Blue Nile and Nile, River Nile, is inhabited, and in southern areas and southwestern Darfur regions, there is some greeneries where population can be flourished. And then we can take the instance of Australia. It is such a big country, around more than double the area of India. But its population is very low, around 2 crore. 2 কোটি মানুষ অস্ট্রেলিয়া বাস করে, 12 কম. Canada also experiences the same situation. Its area is very big, huge country. The second largest country of the world, Canada. But its population is around 4 crore because northern Canada is almost uninhabited. Only a few herds of Nunites and Eskimos. Their name is Eskimo, yes. Reside in those northern inaccessible land of snow-covered land of Canada. And these lower population density of Australia and Canada have given them a weaker stand in the political geographical scenarios. Because of these lower population, they are not at a position to what's called play their leading role in the political geography or geopolitics. Resultant is that for their security and many aspects, these countries are greatly dependent upon the wish and will of the greater powers like the USA, the UK, etc., and European Union as well. So you see, the size and resource potential and industrial development can't help the strengthening of a country. Population demography is also important, but it must be optimum. You see, with optimum population, France with 8 crore population, its area is not that much. It is 4 times larger than that of Bangladesh. Germany around 9 crore, England 6-7 crore, Italy around 10 crore, and so on. So these are the optimum population. Still, they do require manpower import from overpopulated Asian countries like Turkey, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Philippines, Malaysia, and some from some populous Asian countries. But mostly they are dependent on Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Turkey for population, extra population, who serve their industries, industrial sectors, and many other development sectors. So thus we see in the scope of political geography, demography is important. It must be optimum, neither excess a small population. Small population turns or affects the countries in their industrial sectors, economic developmental sectors, and in its security sectors, military, because in the need of their security period, for instance, in the time of war, they can't get sufficient supply of military manpower. So this is why with smaller population, they are free of industrialization, urbanization, and even modernization are being greatly hampered. So population is. But population must be in a good fashion so that it can turn into a boon, B-O-O-N, boon, for their economic boom, B-O-O-M. Boom means flourishment. So it must be what's called in a special manner. Their distribution must be even. For instance, in population is concentrated in one area, and rest areas are deprived of population. Then disparity of distribution of wealth, resources, industries can occur. So this is why here in Bangladesh, you see, our population is evenly distributed. So we are in a good position. Not only that, if we consider the situation of Bangladesh demography, our ethnic composition is also in our favor, because 99% of the total population of Bangladesh are Bangladeshis Proto-Australoid. They speak in the same language, 99% in Bangla, and 90%, the religion of 90%, more than 90% of the population is Islam. And that is only Sunni Islam. Shias are very rare in Bangladesh. And these have given Bangladesh strength, or these have in other words, these have strengthened our uh, political geography, because our population is homogeneous with respect of its religious composition, ethnic composition, linguistic composition. So there is very small or little scope for secessionism or ethnic conflicts, because the population is homogeneous. Hindus are here 10%. Still, they are distributed evenly in the whole country. They are not concentrated in one area. In the last class, we have highlighted that because of the fact that in Chittagong Hill Tracts, which is 1/10 of our 1/10 of our total area, where Mongoloid ethnic people are concentrated, their problem is acute, because in those areas, in Rangamati and Khagrachari and Bandarban region, you see around 50% of the total population, which is known as the Chittagong Hill Tracts, 50% is other than the mainstream people, Bengali speaking, Bengali, Bangladesh. They are Mongoloid, mostly Buddhists, Hindus, Tiparas are Hindus, and non-Muslims, and non-Protostolite. So this is why they are creating problems of secessionism, Vichinnotaba. Otherwise, our country is homogeneous. If you take the instance of India, problem is acute there. Kashmiris are mostly Muslims, and they are fighting for their independence because they want to merge with Pakistan, or at least they want to maintain their independent entity. Likewise, in northeastern portions, in the states of Seven Sisters of Northeast India, Manipuris, Mijos, Nagas, and Khasis, Gorkhas, Ahom people of Assam, all are trying to have their autonomy or independence. This is why they have created different secessionist insurgents, like Ulfa, Boro, Kuki, Naga, Mijo, secessionist groups. They are conducting guerrilla warfares in some parts. Nowadays it is subsided, but still they are existent. They exist in the remote, inaccessible areas and fighting against India. Why? Because ethnically they are different. Linguistically, they are different from the mainstream Hindus and Hindi-speaking people of India.
Sir.
Majority.
Sir.
Likewise, কিছু বলবা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আচ্ছা স্যার, এই যে পপুলেশন এথনিসিটির ভিতরে এই ডিফারেন্সটা ইন্ডিয়ার যে হচ্ছে স্যার, এটা কি ট্রানজিট সমস্যার মাধ্যমে কি সমাধান সম্ভব না স্যার?
এইটা পরে বলবো, আরেকদিন ট্রানজিটের কথা বলবো। আজকে বলছি, আজকে আমার আলোচ্য বিষয় হলো ডেমোগ্রাফির বিভিন্ন বিষয়, যেমন জনসংখ্যার ঘনত্ব, তারপর হলো কি হালকাত্ব, জনসংখ্যার এথনিক বিভিন্নতা, লিঙ্গুইস্টিক বিভিন্নতা। বাংলাদেশ পাকিস্তান হয়েছিল, বঙ্গবন্ধু পাকিস্তান করেছিলেন, শেরে বাংলা, পাকিস্তান স্বপ্নদ্রষ্টা শেরে বাংলা। তো স্বপ্ন মোহমুক্তি ঘটলো। সোহরাওয়ার্দী বঙ্গবন্ধুর মানে উস্তাদ যিনি ছিলেন, মানে আইডিওলগ লিডার, সোহরা হোসেন শহীদ সোহরাওয়ার্দী। তো সবাই মুসলিম লীগ ছিলেন, ছাত্র মুসলিম লীগ ছিলেন, তারা পাকিস্তান চেয়েছে। কিন্তু পাকিস্তান ভেঙে গেল কেন? ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজের কারণে, 52 ভাষা আন্দোলন। Linguistically, Pakistan was divided, fragmented. In eastern part of Pakistan, which was known as East Pakistan, the majority, linguistically majority, comprises Bengali-speaking people. So the third Pakistan. Moreover, Pakistani exploitation was there. In the mainland Pakistan, West Pakistan, that is also fragmented in the line of language. Punjab for Punjabis, Punjabi-speaking people. Sindh province is for Sindhi-speaking people. Balochistan, Baloch-speaking. There are different languages in Balochistan. And in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Dari and Pashtun language. So you see, only Urdu is the lingua franca of Pakistan. This is a common language, at least they can understand. So this is a binding or unifying factor of Pakistan. Islam is also another unifying factor. For Islam and Urdu language and cricket, these three aspects have given Pakistan some solidarity. They are very much religious. They believe in Islam. Only 15% of Pakistanis are Shiites, and they are more what's called fanatics than Sunnis of Pakistan. They can't tolerate anti-Islamic anything, Shias. So they are very much Pakistani, definitely. They'll fight Sunnis, but they love Pakistan. So these are the factors. Essentially, these have weakened the social and state fabric of India. Ethnicity in Northeast has weakened India's unity. And in another aspect is that in South India, technically they are Dravidians, Dravid. In North India, Aryans or Arjo. So racial division. Religious division, I have stated that Kashmir and Muslims, where they are majority. In Assam, Muslims are majority. In West Bengal, they are sizable. In Assam, not majority, but sizable. 36% in Assam. In West Bengal, 30%, 27 to 30%. In Kerala, 25%. So in these provinces, states, the probability of secessionism is acute. But in southern area, Tamil secessionism on the line of ethnicity. They are black in color, skin complexion, their language is different, although they are Hindus, but they practice different forms of Hinduism. Hinduism is not, this is a religion. Their religion is called Sanatan, but they are divided in sects and cults. In North India, one deity is what's called given respect, honor. In South India, another. In East India, Durga, Kali, in Bengal and Bihar. But in the West, Ganesh and Rama is given honor. In North India, Rama, and in South India, the Hinduism, there is a difference. And some Hindus are the followers of Shiva, and some are followers of other religious lords. So Hinduism is also divided. BJP government is trying to unify them in the line of some common aspects of unity. This is why they are funding ISKCONs and other religious groups, NGOs, to unify this fragmented Hindu. And there is Dalits split into 5 sects. The Brahmins, Vaishyas, and Sudras. And there is another noteworthy group which is known as the Namasudras or Dalits, Harijans. They are untouchable. If you touch them, the caste Hindus, particularly Brahmins and Kshatriyas, will feel that.
স্যার এখানে
সেগুলো পড়েছ sociological aspects and definition. But here I am trying to highlight the geopolitical or political importance, significance of these demographic, ethnicity or casteism. These are also weaken or strengthen one population, because India is a big country. Its population is fragmented, divided into the line of religion, caste. In the religion, Christianity, India, autonomy, or at least they are independent. You know, there is a movement known as Khalistan movement, independent Khalistan movement. They formed their government in exile in the UK. And in Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver region, and Toronto, and elsewhere, Sikhs are very much unique. And the Sikhs are different from Hindus. They want to liberate East Punjab. Main is a golden in social political geography will study these religious aspects in the light of political division, whether these are strengthening or weakening a country. So India is fragile, weaker. Why? Because its sociological bond or cohesiveness is very much fragile. In the line of religion, they are divided. Sikhs are fighting, Kashmiri Muslims are fighting, and the Christians of Northeast. Here we must mention that the Nagas, Mijos, Lusais, and the Khasis, and many other tribes. They are ethnic groups. Moreover, they are Christianized overseas, abroad, as Christians, and Denmark, Netherlands, Holland, and many other Christian countries, even France and England. They are channeling, particularly from independent groups, channeling funds for the Christians of Northeast. So why? Although they are Indians in greater sphere, but ethnically they are divided. Why Kashmiri Muslims are fighting? They are Muslims, to constitute 80%. And they sometimes attack Muslims for eating cow meat. You get this information in the newspapers. And state fabrics or cohesiveness. Unity is disrupted because
Recording in progress.
conducted a fierce fight against
Recording in progress.
political, from the perspective of political geography. You see, population is important. Baba, later on you can ask me a question. So you see, religious division, ethnic division, linguistic division of population or of demography can influence the strength or weakness of a country, add to the strength or weakness of a country. And you can show that in the case of England, you see Scotland is trying to get independence from the Great Britain or United Kingdom because Scotland's ethnicity is different. They are Scottish. And England's ethnicity is English. And in northern Ireland, they are Irish. Although they are Irish, they are separated from the mainland Ireland. Why? Because mainland Ireland's religion is Catholics. But Northern Ireland's religion is religion of majority of Northern Ireland, which is part of England, is Anglican Christian, other than that of Catholics of Ireland. So this is why they have joined England instead of joining Ireland. Why? On the basis of religion. Likewise, you see, the whole country of Israel is established on the basis of religiosity. They are immigrants from European countries, from elsewhere, from India, from Ethiopia, black Jews, Zionist Jews from Ethiopia, and what's called colored Jews from India and China, and many other areas. They have migrated to Palestine. They have occupied it, and now they have merged. They have created their own language, Hebrew. Their language was divided. But in order to strengthen their state security, they have constitutionally abolished all the minor religions, and they have revived their dead language of Hebrew. It was the language of the older days of Jews. Jews means Yehudi. And they have revived that Hebrew language, and now they speak mostly. This has become lingua franca of main language of Israel. So thus we can see that country is purely based on religious entity. This is why they are fighting Philistines. Philistines are Arab and Muslims. They are fighting Shias in Lebanon or northern regions. They are fighting Sunnis in Hamas, among the Hamas in south west in Gaza Strip. They are fighting Sunnis in occupied areas. And they have driven out all the Muslims from the mainland Israel, so-called Israel, because it was part of, the whole country was known as Philistine. Thus, we can see the demographic composition particularly its religious composition, ethnic composition, linguistic composition of a state, plays vital role in strengthening or weakening of a country. And thus, this has become an important aspect of political geography. Whenever you bring politics, our subject is political geography. Why politics? Because the power, discussion of power of a country or state is discussed here. As boundary of a country or frontier of a country, core area of a country or capital of a country, strengthen or weakness, weaken a country. Similarly, demographic composition of a country play a vital role in strengthening or weakening of a country. You understand? So we must consider this. Now your question. You may ask me question. Who was first? You name your, give me, you pronounce your name and tell me.
স্যার আমি হচ্ছে রিফায়েত খান শিশির স্যার আমি প্রশ্ন করতে চাচ্ছিলাম যে স্যার স্যার শুনতেছেন?
Yes, I'm listening.
স্যার আমার প্রশ্ন ছিল হচ্ছে স্যার নকশালবাদীদের মূল উদ্দেশ্য কি স্যার? নকশালবাদীরা তো এখনো স্যার ঝাড়খণ্ড বিহার এই
নকশালবাদী আজকের এই টপিকের সাথে প্রযোজ্য না। নকশালবাদীরা ভারতের মধ্য অঞ্চলের পার্টিকুলারলি উত্তর মধ্য এবং মধ্য অঞ্চলের কিছু আমাদের বরেন্দ্র ভূমির মতো জায়গা আছে, লাল মাটির জায়গা, ঝাড়খণ্ড এরিয়া, ঝাড়খণ্ড, তারপর নেপালের নিচে টেরাই এরিয়া, টেরাই, ওইসব এরিয়ায় যে ভারতের জনসংখ্যা আছে তাদের বেশিরভাগ দলিত, দলিত মানে ওই যে বললাম হরিজন, আর আছে কিছু উপজাতীয়, সাঁওতাল আছে, আর কিছু মঙ্গোলীয় লোক আছে, ভারতের মধ্যে মিশে গেছে। এরা যখন চারু মজুমদার বলে একজন ছিলেন বাঙালি, উনি নকশালবাড়ি আন্দোলন করেন। এরা মাওয়িস্ট, মাওয়িস্ট মানে কমিউনিজমের বিভিন্ন ফেরকা আছে, ইসলামের যেরকম শিয়া সুন্নি আছে, হানাফি, হাম্বলি, আহমদি, বিভিন্ন গ্রুপ আছে, তদ্রূপ এই কমিউনিজমের মধ্যে রাশিয়াপন্থী, চীনপন্থী, কেউ বলে প্রথমে শিল্প বিপ্লব, কেউ বলে প্রথমে কৃষি বিপ্লব, হ্যাঁ, কেউ বলে ডেমোক্রেসির মাধ্যমে, কেউ বলে না এটা টোটাল মানে ডেমোক্রেসি comes out through the barrel of rifle, Mao Zedong। তো সশস্ত্র বিপ্লব, কেউ বলে গণতান্ত্রিক ভাবে কমিউনিজম। বাংলাদেশের যেমন কমিউনিস্টরা শেষ করতে দাও বাবা, তুমি প্রশ্ন জিজ্ঞেস করছো আমি বলছি। এইরকম
1 মিনিট আছে স্যার। ভারতের,
আচ্ছা ভারতের আমি বলে দিচ্ছি, ভারতের উত্তর মধ্য অঞ্চলের এই কমিউনিস্টরা, তারা ভারতে অন্তত ওই অঞ্চলে একটা আন্দোলন, একটা অঞ্চল গড়তে চায় বা স্বাধীন সমাজতান্ত্রিক দেশ, কমিউনিস্ট দেশ আন্দোলনের মাধ্যমে করতে চায়। এই জন্য তারা সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্টের বিরুদ্ধে এবং স্টেট গভর্নমেন্টের বিরুদ্ধে সশস্ত্র আন্দোলন করছে, অনেককে মেরে ফেলছে, ছোট ছোট যারা ভূস্বামী আছে তাদেরকে মেরে ফেলছে, এবং কট্টরপন্থী হিন্দুদেরকে মেরে ফেলছে। এবং এরা সাপোর্ট পাচ্ছে নেপালের গভর্নমেন্ট, যেখানে মধ্যে যখন মাওবাদী গভর্নমেন্ট আসে, নেপালে বিরাট সংখ্যক মাওবাদীরা আছে, চীনও এদের সাপোর্ট দিচ্ছে। তো নেক্সট ক্লাসে এদের উপর আবার আলোচনা করে যাবে। তো আজকে জনসংখ্যা কিভাবে কোন দেশকে উইকনেস করে, ডেমোগ্রাফি কিভাবে, পলিটিক্যাল জিওগ্রাফি একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ সাবজেক্ট, সেটা আলোচনা করলাম উদাহরণ দিয়ে দিয়ে। সুতরাং তোমরা